Now, SpaceX is about to attempt one of its boldest feats yet. The fifth flight of the Starship rocket is happening this Sunday, and this time there's a catch. Literally. Did you know that 99% of you watching right now aren't subscribed? That's almost all of you. If you're enjoying the content and want to keep up with all the latest tech updates, please hit that subscribe button. It really supports the channel, and you'll never miss out on the latest news. Your support means the world. Thanks for being here. Stick around as we dive into the details of this groundbreaking mission and why it could be a game changer for the future of space travel. SpaceX is taking a huge leap forward this weekend as it aims to recover the Super Heavy booster in a completely new way. Instead of landing it on a drone ship like the Falcon 9 boosters, the Super Heavy will be caught mid-air by two massive arms on the launch tower, affectionately known as Mechazilla or the chopsticks. If all goes according to plan, this could change the game for rapid rocket reuse. Let's break it down. The Super Heavy booster is the lower stage of the Starship rocket, and it's no small piece of hardware. Standing 232 feet tall and powered by 33 methane-fueled Raptor engines, it generates nearly 17 million pounds of thrust, over twice the power of the Saturn V rocket that took astronauts to the moon. This immense power will push the upper stage of Starship into the upper atmosphere before separating. Then, the Super Heavy will flip around and head back to the launch pad. Now you might be thinking, haven't we seen SpaceX do booster landings before? Yes. But catching the Super Heavy with tower arms is an entirely new approach, and it's much riskier. In previous tests, the booster landed in the ocean, demonstrating pinpoint accuracy with a splashdown just offshore. Now they're aiming for a catch right at the launch site. Bill Gerstenmaier, SpaceX's Vice President of Build and Flight Reliability, joked that we'll either catch the booster with the arms or take out the tower. Jokes aside, this ambitious maneuver is a big part of SpaceX's goal to make space travel highly reusable, efficient, and cost-effective. So what's the game plan for Sunday? The launch window opens at 7 a.m. CDT, just before sunrise. The massive rocket will lift off, and about 2.5 minutes later the Super Heavy booster will separate from the upper stage. After a series of burns to slow down and align with the launch pad, it'll descend back to Starbase at supersonic speeds. As it approaches the tower, some of the engines will reignite, guiding it toward the waiting arms. If successful, catching the Super Heavy booster could make turnaround times much faster compared to Falcon 9, where boosters are retrieved from a drone ship, brought back to shore, and refurbished. A rapid reuse system could mean more frequent launches, reducing costs and accelerating space missions. While the Super Heavy heads back to the launch pad, the Starship upper stage will continue its journey, lighting up 6 Raptor engines to nearly reach orbital velocity. The mission plan includes a coast halfway around the world, a fiery re-entry over the Indian Ocean, and a controlled splashdown, similar to the previous flight in June. After analyzing the results of the last flight, SpaceX engineers made significant upgrades to the heat shield, replacing it with new generation tiles and adding extra protections. The team spent over 12,000 hours reworking the thermal protection system to ensure it can withstand the intense heat during re-entry. Ultimately, SpaceX wants to recover and reuse both stages of the Starship rocket. That means landing the upper stage as well, but first, they need to master the booster catch and get a high launch frequency. This is essential not just for cost savings, but for fulfilling ambitious missions like deploying larger Starlink satellites, ferrying humans to Mars, and even landing astronauts on the moon under NASA's Artemis program. Speaking of the moon, SpaceX has big plans to use Starship for lunar landings, with contracts from NASA to deliver astronauts to the surface on the Artemis 3 and Artemis 4 missions. To make that a reality, they need to pull off refueling in space, a challenge they're working to solve.